Hello, and welcome to the zoominghooskpodcast, and I am your host, Dustin DaHusky.
And I am Curdad Sourpuss.
It's been a little while since the last episode.
It has, and pardon the M&M sound.
Brought to you by M&M's Caramels. I can't think of a witty slogan. There we go. That's it right there.
That's the slogan.
We can't think of a witty slogan.
That's the tweet. That's the tweet.
Sheboygan. And Oconomowoc. Manitowoc. Wausau. Yeah, it's actually been a little while. It's just things have kind of been crazy. My work's kind of been insane with the hours and insane with the workload because we're always short-staffed and I'm slowly getting burnt out by it, which, speaking of jobs, I was over at my dad's this past Saturday and I was handing him his Christmas gift. And this is upcoming, I think it's Friday is Christmas.
Yes.
Yeah, it's Christmas. So this is Christmas week.
Yep,
so
definitely.
The weekend before Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. My dad actually left a voicemail on my phone, which I rarely ever check those voicemails.
Did he wish you a happy Christmas?
Well, not really. He actually was letting me know that there was actually 2 job openings at his hospital.
Well, that's right.
Now, the last time there was a job opening at his hospital, that was 5 years ago, and I didn't take it, thinking, you know what? I don't want to do third shift, which, honestly, I don't like third shift. I can certainly do a second shift, but I'll have to still live a first shift lifestyle, because you know what? I refuse to still be up long after a shift to do my own thing in the middle of the night. No, like, by the time I get home, by midnight, maybe 1 o'clock, I'm in bed. It's like, you know what? No, I'm gonna swirl. My dad gave me 2 offers for a job opening in his hospital system. I won't be working directly with him. However, I will be working directly in his network. And one of them was, I think, custodian or something like that. However, it was 16 hours a week, which...
that's not much.
And it's third shift, which I could care less about. So those 2 things alone, I don't care so much. However, there is a full-time position for a courier job, a.k.a. driving.
A.k.a. zooming.
A.k.a. zooming. While I'm still doing deliveries at my job, so I've done that for 2 years, I worked for a government agency, a long time ago at this point, for 6 years, was a courier for them, and you know what? I got about 8 years to 9 years of driving experience delivering people, products, documents, whatever. Organs. So I already know this job way too well, and I'm going to have a lot of fun with it, because I actually prefer driving, being on the road, seeing the world pass by. And there's a job opening, and this was the Saturday. He says, hey, I'll give you the job number, go online and apply. And you know what? Sunday morning, I'm frantically looking around to see where I can go because I've never been on their system before. So navigating it for the first time, and you know me, I tend to lose my patience after I have no idea what I'm doing, where I'm going. And then found out I ended up actually finding out what I needed to do anyway. So Hoosk found a way. I applied, I gave him my resume, which I slightly tweaked. I think I only updated one thing on it. Did I even update any?
Did you even mention your current job?
What's that?
Did you mention your current job on there?
Yes. I guess it wouldn't hurt. Honestly, it just shows that I've been working that long, so it still looks fine.
Yeah.
Also, too, something to mention about resumes later. So I put my resume down. Oh, it's already been updated this past October. I've been looking for a job since August. There are a few leads that didn't go anywhere, or was hoping to hear back and just nothing came out of it. So, but that's pretty typical sometimes. Opportunities are fleeting, so you have to take them when they happen. And I applied for this job, which is Saturday to Tuesday. And if you know me well enough, I hate to work on weekends because you know why?
Yeah.
I worked as a custodian for 3 years on a Wednesday to Sunday shift.
What is that? What's the shift go or the schedule?
For this one is
No, for what you were doing, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
yes.
So you're off Monday, Tuesday.
From my old one. No, that was my old custodian job.
That's what
before.
I'm talking about.
Right. This job I'm applying is Saturday to Tuesday. However, it's got a few things already going for me. Number one, it's a healthcare job, which they pay incredibly well. I'm kicking myself in the ass for not getting into it because my dad is being paid quite royally right now after 5 years being in the system.
Mm-hmm.
He gets more vacation days right off the bat than I have had working.
And he's doing what?
Building maintenance.
Oh, wow.
Literally a professional way of saying custodian, but he does a lot more than just doing your ordinary mopping and sweeping. He does everything for a hospital.
That's great.
Making sure generators keep working, to make sure the COVID ward power doesn't go off because you got people on ventilators. So he's got an incredibly important job.
Yep.
With this, driving. I absolutely enjoy driving. Does not bother me one bit. I drove for 14 hours straight with the state. Didn't bother me one bit.
Nice.
It's also the coveted 4-day on, 3-day off schedule that I've been looking for a job. For the longest time, I don't mind working 10-hour days, so as long as I get 3 days off.
Right.
I will refuse to work 10-hour days for 5 days a week, because you know what? That will burn you out. Granted, the overtime would be nice, but there is no way for you to recover each week from that.
I don't think any company would schedule somebody for 50 hours.
Knowing some companies, they probably could.
I mean, as a store manager for Blockbuster, I worked 50,
Maybe if you're manager at that
55
point.
to 60 hours a week.
So, it's already got the preferred amount of days on and off that I would rather want for a job. It's doing exactly what I enjoy the most, is driving. That may not excite a lot of people, but to me, it's something that I enjoy, just how it is. However, while it's the weekend, I would get Wednesday, Thursday, Friday off. My starting pay would be $14, $15 an hour, and I'm going to fight them to make sure that that's what it is, because I refuse to be making any less than that. Because I do not want to keep starting in the same spot every single damn time I start a new job. Because that gets so old after a while, it's like I have to work my way up to what I was before 3 times.
Yep.
It's so redundant that I have to go through more time to get back to what I used to get paid for. That's just a waste of my time. Just pay me back to what I would rather to. You would be... I'm a pretty damn good worker that you can pay me right off the bat that kind of wage. And I can... You better expect that I can do very good work for that kind of money. And the highest paying wage for this position is $22 an hour. So I've technically found myself a long-term career if I get in. Because to be honest, $20 an hour is kind of where I would like to be in 5 years' time. However, it's a cushy job. Full-time benefits, vacation time, personal time, whatever, you name it, right off the bat. It's just seeing if I get the job, see if I get an interview, see if I check off enough things that they like about me that would say, hey, this guy could be the one, or hey, interview him. What would this mean for... furry or fur meats and whatnot, I think some of that won't fully go away, but there's going to be a lot of new changes regarding how I will work. Because what's odd about 4 days on is the first 2 days are first shift, and the last 2 days are second shift. Though with the amount of time per day, it seems I would have an hour lunch. So at least I get a little bit of time to myself.
So what is first shift considered? Like what to what?
6:30 to 5:30 and 6:30 to 6 o'clock on Sundays, and Saturday and Sunday.
Wait, what? 6:30 to
6:30 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. and 6:30 a.m. to 6 o'clock p.m.
Okay.
So I still get my evenings. So it's not to say that I couldn't make fur meats. It's just if I were to host them, well, that'd be almost next to impossible for me, but who knows. But if I get the job and stay there 6 months, I may enjoy what I do. I may just want to bid into a different time schedule or find a way to get weekends back. But 2021 is not going to happen as far as stuff. This is a rebuilding year, so I'm not expecting anything to happen.
No.
And I don't expect to go anywhere either, so that's fine by me. And second shift starts at each day 11:45 to I believe 10:30 p.m. and on Tuesdays 11:45 at night.
That's rough. I couldn't do that. I couldn't give up the entire day.
However, I get Wednesday, Thursday, Friday off. That's full days off. Which, you know what? And apparently they give regular bonuses.
How many days do you have to do second shift? 2?
2.
I guess it's not too bad. Only 2 days.
So Saturday, Sunday is first shift. Monday and Tuesday are second shift. Then I'm off Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And I get 25 days paid vacation.
That's pretty good.
I say so. Plus comes with full-on benefits that are better than what I'm getting. Healthcare would be a lot more better because, of course...
I'm sure they have decent health insurance.
Oh, yeah.
I would hope for a hospital.
Yeah. And it's pretty much transporting clients, documents, test reports, whatever, and organs to different locations in the West Dallas area. And you know what? It's only 15 minutes away from here.
That's great.
So you know what? Hey, I may be getting out 15 minutes before midnight, but by the time I get home, I would already had dinner because I would refuse to have lunch on a second shift. At that point, I'm saving lunch and dinner for one whole meal, and then by the time I get home, I'm going straight to bed. Just to, yeah. That's the only way how I will actually see that. Because my dad lives a first shift life while working second shift. However, he's full-time second shift. So that's 2 o'clock to midnight. So.
Interesting.
Yeah. So that's pretty much my whole new job prospect is that over the horizon. I am hoping I get it. This is the kind of job that I've been looking for a long while, is something of a greater calling, because you know me, I enjoy helping my community and whatnot. So I hope I get into that, which in about 2 to 6 weeks' time, I might hear back from them, which is how long it took my dad to get his interview through the healthcare system, is 6 weeks. So here's to nothing, because really, can't just sending a resume, and I did a cover letter. So
Nice.
here's a helpful hint out there. If you're looking for a job, always provide a cover letter, even if it's optional. Show that you're willing to go the extra bit of distance by providing a cover letter, which will surprise any potential employer. Plus, it's a good way to showcase your skills to convince them, hey, this is what I'm able to do. This is what I have been able to do and what I'm capable of doing. Please hire me. It's just a perfect way to get your foot further in the door than just a resume. Also, too, resumes. You know what's dumb about some resume requirements is that, which I do have 3 references. However, they're of my own pick of people who I worked incredibly well with that regardless of if they were to call, years later they would have nothing but good to say about me, about how good I work. There is no point in putting a manager who absolutely hates her guts to put him on a resume because some resume requirements only want managers, your boss, to be on a resume. And you know what? I say nuts to that because you know why? If I had to put my current boss on a resume, I do fantastic work for what I do. My boss will throw my name through the mud, through the dirt, just to get back at me for leaving. Because my boss, when I will leave, which I can't wait, he will know that he lost a good worker, but he was too inept to do anything about it and too blind to say, yeah, you should have maybe paid me better, and yeah, you probably should be less of an ass, but I'm not going to even bother giving you the second chance to do it.
The thing about that is, though, when they ask you to put your manager on there, they're only going to call to verify that you work there. Verify employment. It's not generally to look to them for a...
as if like...
what's the word I'm looking for?
How was your working relationship with this individual?
Right, they're not really calling for a referral. They're just looking more for verification.
See, I actually did not think about that.
Did you show up to work every day? Yes. Were they efficient, in their work?
Now that's going into the point of
maybe not that. I mean, I'm
right.
I could be way off. Generally, most of the time, it's just verification of employment.
I don't trust my boss to do any of that. I trust him so little at this point that, like he if you put in the overtime, 12 hours of overtime in a week, you will not get a single thank you from that man.
Oh, no.
So, yeah, I just refuse to put down a manager who is probably, is a very evil human being. I put down the manager of my last job down because me and Chris, working together at the parish, we got along so fantastic. We enjoyed working with each other. He was sad to see me go, but he understood that, everyone's got their moment to leave and whatnot.
Right.
But we left on incredibly cordial terms and with no hard feelings.
Sure.
So I totally trust him to put a good word for me in that sense. In case it ever was brought up, oh, hey, have you worked with him? How's his work ethics and whatnot?
Just like my supervisor currently, I don't trust her because she's so unstable. Speaking of, though, guess what I did today at work? I played them a furry song.
You played him a furry song. What did you play?
No cock. Like
horse cock. Wait, you sang it or you played the song?
No, I played the song for him.
Really? Where?
In our cooler. In our fridge.
Did they dance with you?
They loved it. They were laughing their
They
asses
loved it.
They were laughing their asses off on it.
I mean, Walmart is the beginning of all evil, but hey, its workers are listening to no cock like horse cock.
Mm-hmm.
That is the most glorious thing ever. That would be something I'd probably leave to when leaving this job on the last day. Would probably do something like that and say, okay, I'm never seeing any of you guys again.
Blast it.
Oh yeah. Or it'd be don't you forget about, and I just like fist the sky while I walk out the door and whatnot, and then have like a freeze frame of, and then from that point on, he stopped working for this shithole of a company.
Yeah.
Now he's doing other better things.
Yep.
But that's funny. That's actually pretty funny.
You know, I'm this close to showing
Your persona.
Yeah.
And this is the person you suspect being a furry.
Yeah.
I would do it.
Yeah.
Why do I have a hair? That's a cat hair. How the hell did a cat hair get in my mouth?
Sylvester.
The cat's... What? The cat's drinking beer now?
Apparently.
Because I just sipped my beer and it just happened to be there. Look at that. See, no, that is a tuxedo. That is a tuxedo poos fur.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put it back in my mouth now. I like how you did not stop me from doing that. They may have gone back in my beer. Damn it. The hair is gone. The hair is gone. I do not own the hair.
Down your throat now.
It's probably on my pants somewhere.
Yeah, he likes to lick the condensation off the cans.
What a good poos.
Yeah.
He is trying to stay cool and such.
I'm trying to think what else we did today that was stupid. It was just kind of a stupid day all around. Listening to furry music. Singing like idiots in the back room. Yep, it was a day. And Hoosk is chewing
Yep.
on the pizza.
Yep. At the same time, it's like,
how long did you nuke it for?
Probably way too long.
How long did you put it in for?
I have no idea. I forgot. I'm fried.
Oh my god. 1 minute. Nothing. Any.
You know what? I'm
Never
not
more.
touching that till after the podcast anyway.
You never nuke pizza for more than a minute.
I may have just done that too, and it still turned out like that.
At least that piece. The other ones will be okay. The corner piece is going to be
Nah, I'm still going to eat it. It's still food.
the crust.
I'll still do it anyway. So, with that being said, about future job prospects and whatnot, and I'm hoping I don't have to look far from this point on. I'm just hoping this is the one ticket out of here, just to get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Not to say that it can happen, but you know what? I've got good gut feeling that this could be my ticket out.
Yep.
Here's a subject that I've been thinking about lately, and it's the course of a year where I thought, okay, 2020, not going to any meets, not going to any cons, I'm saving money in that regard. Hey, let's spend it on art. So I go to an artist that I really, really like and throw money at him, which I thought, great, cool. However, I'm starting to have my doubts that I'll never see some of this art ever again. I'm glad to have gotten 2 pieces of art when I did. However, the next 3 pieces of art I still have not gotten. I contacted him.
When was this? When did you commission these people?
Earlier, first half of the year.
It wasn't. Before COVID.
No, well, during COVID, just first half of this year. So, I still see this person making art in their queue. I understand some queues get long and whatnot, but I have the feeling that some artists follow their own follower clout. Not so much follower of themselves, but followers of the people that they do art for.
Mm-hmm.
And I have a feeling that the 2 pieces of art that I commissioned from him...
Who is the artist?
I'm not even going to make a mention, because you know what? I'm not going to do that.
Well, tell me later.
Yeah, I'll tell you later, but I'm not doing this over the podcast, because you know what? That's just bad business.
Oh.
I'm not here to out people, but I'm just airing my frustrations of... And I have contacted this person, where am I in the queue? And I don't get much from, so I already know... I'm lucky to get what I did get out of it, so...
Okay.
All I know is I'm not going to commission them ever again. And I may even use the same ideas they wanted art from and just give it to another artist to do. And then just be better off with that. Yeah. So, the theory that I have is, you know how some people have clout in the fandom?
Yes.
and clout because they have a huge following number, so they must think they're hot shit.
Yep.
So they'll do anything that they feel like is going to give them some status, right? Well, with artists, the only way they can do business is by reaching out. So, they post their art online and people look at it. However, I'm starting to wonder if some artists, and possibly fursuit makers, look at the results of the interaction after they do the initial post. If they can gauge if it is wise to do business with these commissioners. Again, even if they are good commissioners, they pay them off in full, they tip them and whatnot, they're very, very nice, they're very, very patient. And I still think if they don't get the reaction they get from posting a piece of art online, I have to wonder if they feel so opinionated about, for them trying to gain more attention to their brand of artistry. Not saying all artists do this, but it's a theory that I've had for a while, that some artists just don't care. They draw art for the fun of it. As long as you get their money, or they get your money, they make ends meet and whatnot. Because maybe my 2 pieces of art didn't do so hot as much as he thought it might.
What do you mean do so hot?
Meaning attention grabbing. Certain furries in this fandom that get a lot of art, and they become popular more because of their art than anything else. Or how some furries are popular because of their fursuiter or their fursuits. Well, there are some big name furries out there that have a lot of art. And people know them instantaneously just by looking at their persona. And they know exactly who they are.
Right.
It's well known, it's well looked at, it's well downloaded, it's well traveled. It transcends all language barriers across the furry world.
Yes.
That's what an artist would want, is to see that art travel around, right?
Yeah.
I have a feeling maybe my art, I'm not that popular. I'm just going to say it out loud because I'm going to say it loud and proud. I'm not popular and it doesn't matter to me. Yeah. I'm just who I am and I'm glad for who I am and that's it. However, I enjoy the art. I don't care one bit, but I have to wonder if the artist thought, wow, this didn't get any traction at all. It's good looking art. It's really beautiful and it's quite lewd, so you would think furries would eat it up and whatnot, which they sort of did. But I'm really starting to wonder, am I too irrelevant for this artist? That should I commission them in the future because do I feel like I'm not worth their effort?
I would think that the money just for commissioning them would be enough.
Yeah.
Because if I were an artist, I'd be like, that's it. I don't care.
Yeah.
If the art circulates around.
Right.
Obviously, the more the circulation, the more customers they're going to have.
Right. Oh, yeah.
I don't know how big his queue is of people waiting for art.
Back in February or March, it was about a month. So I thought, okay, maybe...
Which translates to how many people, do you think?
I have no idea. But apparently he was able to get me in 2 months' time and doing 2 pieces of art at once.
Because on the average, from what I get, the average artist can crank out one finished piece of art in like 2 to 3 days.
Right.
Which would go to... Actually,
and it may be a good point that perhaps...
maybe 3 pieces of art a week.
It's possible that he's so loaded up that it's not because of what I think it is, but he's just trying to crank away.
Which then translates to 12 pieces of art in a month.
Right. So, I would still like to get my pieces of art, and I'm still going to wait for it until about a year after the fact, and at that point I'm just going to just forget about it. But if it happens, cool, sweet, I got lucky, I got my pieces of art. But I feel like, you know how some artists still take on more commissions when they probably shouldn't?
Yeah.
And all of a sudden the backlog is so bad that they actually either not on purpose or purposely ignore some people.
Yeah.
Because they're getting paid to make ends meet, but they don't provide the services they promise you when paying him. It's not to say there's no social contract, because there isn't, but the expectation is that you would get your pieces of art that you paid for. And I am not shaming the prices that artists pay for their pieces. I will gladly pay whatever for whatever artist, because you know what? That's what they're going for. I'm not going to haggle, because this is their job. I am not going to jip them out on money.
Like when we commissioned from what's his name?
Cywolf.
I would have paid $1,000. I don't care.
Beautifully. Oh, yeah.
Because he's got, I just love his art style.
Absolutely. I would love to commission him one day, because it's just beautiful art. Even if we're not together, I will still look at that piece of art and say that is still beautiful.
Yeah, it's a great piece.
It is actually by far still my favorite piece that I've ever gotten for art. It's totally possible he's just trying to crank out as much as he can, but
possibly bit off a little bit more than he can chew.
Perhaps in this,
as far as how many people are in the queue.
And I'm not the only person to think, hey, I'm not going to cons, but let's spend some money on artists that I think deserve my money to support them.
Sure.
Because cons is a means for them to make more money.
Yeah.
However, I'm not the only one who thought, hey, maybe if I commission certain artists, I can get art, pay them royally, and I can get art. Perfect. I help them with money, they help me with a raging boner. Fantastic.
It's like when I commissioned, who's that one guy that does that dog that gets fucked by everybody?
Sea Salt.
Sea Salt.
Sea Salt's the character. That's Red Rusker.
Red Rusker. I commissioned Red Rusker for a badge. It took him 1.5 years to get it back to me. I forgot that I commissioned him.
Some artists are just honest like that. They may have bitten off way more than they can chew, but they'll probably keep their promise.
Like, I knew that he was doing a comic on the side, so I'm like, I'm gonna just step back and let him be and let him do it. And like all of a sudden, like I think it was like 1 year and like 6 or 7 months, he said, "I'm so sorry, I completely forgot," and then he let me know that in like a week's time or a couple days' time, he'd have the piece to me.
That's a fantastic artist who is going to admit, well, not just simply admit, just being honest. I just asked this artist of mine, where am I on your queue? Just a simple question of, am I in for another 3 months, another 6 months, just to get a general idea so I'm not waiting for nothing.
Yeah.
And I never got an actual answer back.
I
It
guess
says
sometimes
the answer
I would
was
imagine,
yes. The answer was yes, and that was it.
Sometimes I would imagine that it was probably hard to gauge when they think, because who knows?
Maybe I shouldn't be too critical, but I'm a bit more skeptical with each passing month.
I know.
Because I've been gypped by stuff over the past. Whether if it's, well, actually we both know, but I'm not going to discuss that just for simplicity's sake and just not to really bash on them. But again, for art, for example, I've waited around 2 years for a piece of art that never happened. And the first few times I says, hey, you know what? I just want my money back. Sorry for taking your time. Then came the excuses of, oh, I'm so sorry. This and happened. So trying to get a cry story from me. It's like, okay, you know what? All right, that's fine. Just I'll wait until you get the money. Yeah. Then a few months later, and it's like, oh, my cat was sick, so I had to fix the cat. Like, okay, all right, well, that's fine.
Who was the guy that I commissioned that I never got art from?
Wolf.
Wolf. I'll put that guy on blast freely.
Yes, actually, yeah.
He deserves to be on blast.
He went from an artist to a gamer, and then just suddenly disappeared. With how many people's and you were waiting for 2 years. Actually, you're still technically waiting if you think about it, but
technically, yeah.
But you were waiting a good 2 years before you kind of just gave up.
Yep.
I waited 2 years for a piece of art from IFC 2016. No, it was actually 2015. Remember that one artist at 2015? I was in Anton and I was running around the dealer's den, and like, oh my god, I know exactly who you are. Mm-hmm. That artist knew that I was a Norwegian Lundhound, and says, "Oh yes," just to kind of give inspiration of the character and whatnot, because I wanted a Viking art. Because Anton would be a Viking, because Norway, perfect, fits. Well, after excuse after excuse after excuse, and thinking, you know what, I'm totally wasting my time. I've totally given up on the art, and I'm now starting to really given up on the money. It was only, what, $47 or $67? Really? I was making money. It did not matter at that point for me. At that point, I could earn $47, $67 without a problem.
But that is always a principle. The fact that you paid someone money and got nothing.
Yeah.
That's what bothers me about Amwolf.
It's the sting of paying for someone, thinking, hey, you're going off on their good judgment or their honesty to give you what you paid for.
And the fact that Amwolf kept reposting his commissions open advertisement and kept taking money from people freely.
Yes.
That, at that point now you're a criminal.
Yeah, because you're just literally taking people's money
taking people's money
without them knowing that they're going to be thrown for a loop for years until they just give up.
Yeah.
And the very time that the person says, "Hey, I can give you your money back," and I say, "You know what? That's perfectly fine. I don't need it. I think you might need it more than I do, so I want you to keep the money," and that was it. It almost felt like just a coup de grace. For once, she was willing to give back the money, but it seemed like with every single excuse and sob story, which I would like to believe, but I knew that it was just stalling for time and probably didn't have the money or did not want to.
Yeah.
The very time where she said that she would give it away, it's like, you know what? It's been 2 years since I've commissioned art, and you know what? Or 2 years or 2.5. It's been that long since I've commissioned art from you. At this point, you can keep the money. I've been buying more art along the side to replace, and I eventually did. Like I mentioned earlier, I ended up commissioning another artist to do a Viking art of Anton, and you know what? That was closure for me, was to get art that I've always wanted, but different artist. Yeah, maybe I shouldn't be too critical on time-wise, considering this year. But I always feel like this artist is always getting more and more commissions, piling up on top of each other, and I don't know, I feel like I've just kind of been tossed aside. But then again, I'm not alone, and I probably shouldn't think I'm the only one in that situation. I'm sure there's dozens others for this artist that feel like they're being rung around the room. I just had to be a bit more patient, but after a while, it's like, you know what, I'm better off probably commissioning another artist at the same time, just in case this never happens, because I would rather get the art now, have closure now, and if it happens, cool, it happens. If it doesn't happen, hey, I have art of exactly what I wanted. Maybe copy and paste exactly what I want and see what the artist is willing to do for me. But, you know, I don't know, I just feel like I've been burned way too many times by artists that there's been a period in my furry life that I did not commission any art at all. It's not that I didn't have the money or the time, it's just I felt so burnt out from being burnt out from not receiving art that I paid for that I just said, you know what, fuck it, I'm just gonna wait a while. Hopefully paying more reputable artists to do my art, and then realize even they may not...
Too busy.
Yeah, so, I don't know. Maybe I'm rambling for nothing then.
Here's an update. Amwolf has not tweeted since January 2017.
Yeah, as far as this...
It'll be 4 years
at
the end of...
Yeah.
at the end of January.
At this point, he's out of this fandom. He's been out.
Mm-hmm.
I think he literally made a killing just by making enough money to do whatever.
Scamming people out of money.
The problem is with that is the furry fandom is a very close-knit group of people.
Mm-hmm.
Even though we're a big community, word travels pretty fast. And it's going to be a hard time to believe that unless he goes under a different name, totally different persona, and then does the same thing over and over again. There's that possibility, but I don't know. It's hard to believe that. Yeah, I'm afraid that you won't see art from him, and I'm hoping to see art from my artist friend because he is a really nice guy. It's just you have to wonder, knowing his big following, that I just don't know him well enough to know if that's what he does or what. I don't know. It's just this year's been a total drag. I just don't want to think of any more negatives in this year that, I don't know. Just something that came to mind.
Yep.
Is there anything you would like to add about commissioning arts?
No. Do your research. Do your research and don't get ripped off.
Yes. Artist Beware is a good place to start looking for your artist in question. If they've been reputable, they won't be on Artist Beware. However, if they are here and there, Artist Beware a few times, take it with a grain of salt that those might be outliers of bad experiences.
Yep.
But that may not be against the artist. It also could be the commissioner too, turning a story as well. But when an artist is on Artist Beware and has a huge thread behind it, that's maybe a good sign just to kind of avoid them.
Yep.
Which I should check this artist to see if they are on Artist Beware. If this is
They
just
probably are.
if this is just a
it.
normal thing, actually, that's something I may have to look at because I never really thought of that. I just thought that him being a big name would hope that he would keep his word because he's omnipresent. But
Yep. So I've been doing some gaming.
yes, you have.
I've been doing gaming with your bro.
Yep, the polecat.
Yep. And kind of going back to this old game that I was playing before. Private server. So actually, Final Fantasy 11 from 2001. That's when it came out. It's a really nice community on this server, though. It's not huge, but it's nice. Helpful people. Friendly. This one guy was like hell-bent on helping me gear up my little Taru Paladin. And come to find out, he's from Sheboygan. Because I mentioned to him that I had to work in the morning.
That's a small world.
I know. Because he said, well, what time is it there? And I said, it's like 7:30. He was like, oh, it's 7:30 here too. I'm like, oh, you're in the Midwest? Yeah. And I said, I'm in Milwaukee. He's like, I'm in Sheboygan.
Oh,
It's kind of funny. There's a couple times it's happened to me where I connected to somebody who's close nearby. One
That's
person I
pretty cool.
actually met from Aurora when I was still living in Aurora.
you're finding local people all over the place.
Local people. This guy's married, he has a kid.
Oh,
Constantly going AFK. Which is what?
what is AFK? Away for now. Something like that.
Away from keyboard.
Away from keyboard. Oh, I learned something new.
Yeah. I think I've eaten one too many M&M's caramel. Do you know what M&M stands for?
Not really, no.
The two guys that started two different companies and then merged into one.
Really?
Mars and I forget the other one. What does M&M stand for? Mars and Murray.
Huh. Well, luckily, this artist in question's not a single match on Artist Beware, so at least to say I think he's just so swamped that he's just swamped beyond recognition. Anyway,
We can hope.
we can hope.
We
But,
can hope.
So then you were saying about Final Fantasy and playing with the brother Polecat.
I play with the brother Polecat. He does swap between that and another game that he's playing, so we don't always get to do stuff, but it's fun to get on there and mess around once in a while, kill monsters.
Is it fun to actually game with other people you know?
Most of the time. If it's a game that I'm experienced in, it can be frustrating. So I have to be very patient because someone else is learning something that I've been doing for
A long time.
almost 20 years, for God's sakes. He's nomming on the pizzas.
Yeah, I think I may have nuked that way too much.
You know, you can nuke it again, soften it, and then eat it before it gets hard.
There we go. I'll have to do that later.
Yeah, we'll do that. It is also a thick crust, too. We're used to the thin crust.
Yeah, I like my thin crust pizza. I don't mind thick crust either, but
Yeah.
thin crust is
I don't
nice.
know why I bought the thick. It's too thick.
Triple C thick.
Triple C thick.
Oh my god, my pizza's got buttocks.
What were we talking about? We were talking about eating cum today at work.
I mean, it goes along with horse cock.
Yeah, horse cock, cum.
There's no cock like horse cock.
Yeah, we were talking about. I showed them a picture of one of my friends from Italy. I have a few people that I'm friended with all over the world. Australia. There's a girl I know in Australia.
You are an international
There's-
goose.
And she's best friends with somebody from London. So we all three were like, I should check back with them. I miss Rachel. I miss, oh my God, what is her name?
Hey girls, we're getting the gang back together.
What is that from?
I just made
I
it
know
up.
that.
I'm thinking Scooby-Doo.
It sounds like.
I can't find my glasses.
I can't find my glasses. I can't
You know what's-
see without my glasses.
You know what's actually kind of like a total turn off for me, and you know how R34 exists?
Mm-hmm.
Balto, yes. All dogs go to heaven, yes.
Yes.
Scooby from Scooby-Doo, yes. The rest of the gang, no. It just is so weird.
Yeah, one thing that I remember seeing a lot of was, who's the nerdy one?
Velma getting banged.
Well, no, I kept seeing her, but as a he.
Oh, really?
They gender bended her into a him
I mean, that worked too.
because she was always like the lesbian of the group.
That too, yeah.
Yeah, the rest of the gang, especially Shaggy.
Being turned into a girl.
No,
Oh.
just in general, no, definitely no.
I just think the whole group...
The whiskers out of his chin.
I just think, you know what?
Hey, Scoob.
Hey, Scoob! No, that's not good. I can't do a good...
What's the thing he says? He's like,
Zoinks!
oh, we're really in trouble now, Scoob.
Ringer in my root.
He's
Oh,
putting his finger in your butt.
oh, finger in my root.
Ringer in my right.
Ringer in my ring.
Oh, fuck this.
Oh, fuck this. Yeah. Oh my god.
Ringer in my rut. We've talked about that a lot at work. Ringer in my rut.
So do they get the reference?
I showed them the video.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Whatever we talk about, like, I just flat out will show them.
Oh, so you don't know about, the love triangle of Balto, Steele, and Jenna. Oh, let me pull up E621 and I'll show you more.
I'll do that next time.
See, there's a wolf dog and a husky and another husky. And now they're all going to switch. Now they made a sandwich.
But does Jenna ever put a strap on and fuck the two of them?
A
double-headed strap
should.
on.
That'd be so fucking hot. Because it would be.
It would be.
I mean, honestly, Steele is my favorite bad guy character, but holy cow, the naked pinups of him is amazing.
Yep, they are.
Oh
they really
my
are.
god. Oh my god. He's like the perfect amount of evil. Stop touching my hard pizza!
Oh my god.
It's become one with the plate.
What did you do?
I have no idea. It Chernobyl itself to the plate.
Come here. I gotta
My pizza became an RBMK reactor. It just melted. Are you making sure? Ooh, I'm going to put that away. But your pizza is near your phone. Actually, your beer is next to your phone. I don't know why I said pizza.
I feel like I'm going to stab myself with this fork.
Yeah, you know what? It's not worth it.
I can do it.
I wouldn't be able to eat it like that anyway, so don't worry about that.
Oh, God. How do you do this?
I don't know. Kurdan, don't worry about it.
This cheese is going to get eaten. Right?
You want the cheese. But it's going to go fly directly into the carpet. Where it's full of cat hair.
No. I won't let it happen.
And then now you will have the cat hair in your mouth. Caution, the pizza's got cat hair.
It's a cheese chip.
Aw, the cheese tax.
Cheese chip. I have to work tomorrow, so
Yeah,
I think we're going to probably end this.
Yeah, this seems like a good time to end this, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, forgive us for a bit of lack of entertainment recently. It's just life kind of happens. We've been busy. Work's kind of been stupid.
And holiday season.
And of course, holiday season doesn't really help, which...
And they're like, we don't care.
Yeah, we want more content.
Fuck your excuses.
Fuck your excuses. So, yeah, thanks for tuning in for another episode of the Zooming Hoosk podcast. And once again, I'm your host, Dustin DaHusky.
I'm Kurdan Sarpus.
And we'll catch you next time.
Sheboygan.
Sheboygan!